It's a joke. But nevertheless, there is plenty enough stuff to satisfy the needs of the people. There's more than enough housing. I've done the research myself. That we could house every homeless man, woman, and child in America. This was about 9 years ago. Now I did this research, and still have 90% of the vacant available housing left over across the country. And that's not even including hotels and motels. So you understand, with that kind of excess, that superfluity, our cost of living should be so low by now. You understand that it'd just be a few little things where there was a disruption in the supply chain, a temporary disruption in the supply chain, and that caused some commodity to get more dear. But at the end of the day, this is a means to an end, to have sound currency, to have those checks and balances, that accountability, that said, no, it's we the collective. We all have an interest in that particular commodity called food, called housing, called clean, drinkable, potable water. Okay, we all, not just some people. It's not all these various special interest groups like the real estate agents and the money lenders and the government, because they get more property taxes, and that have an interest in driving up housing costs, and your landlords, of course, your flippers and your speculators, your investors. It's not just all those various sundry interest groups, special interest groups that have an interest. No, we the people have an interest. That is a collective. That's called civilization. That's called a civilized society. And a civilized society, it seems in my mind, ought to make progress. But all we've done is devolve. We've made anti-progress. All we've done is diminish the worth of our currency. That's the people ruling us. They've done it fraudulently. Nevertheless, it's happened. So my whole life, I've had to experience this dimension of disdain. I disdain it. I absolutely cannot stand the system. I cannot enjoy any semblance of personal, individual prosperity. I'm telling you, I'm down here meeting homeless people, and I've been a big advocate of the homeless ever since I woke up. And I tell you what, I don't see these people as any less than myself. And I drive a nice car, and I've got nice threads, and I've got nice stuff, trinkets and knickknacks. You know what? And I am just beside myself with feeling guilt, feeling like I can't enjoy this. This isn't right. Okay? It's not right that this man has nothing. Where society is going to tell him to go get a job when he's living on the beach. He's living in the bushes, hiding from the police, who are always trying to rouse them in the middle of the night and drive them out, make their lives miserable because they're kind of working with the Chamber of Communists who say, look, this is bad for business. We can't have these homeless people. But we can have these exorbitant rents. We can have these vacant places, and that's okay. I can have 10, 15 houses that, and most of them sit vacant, while they're just waiting for my whim to when I want to live in them for a little while. No, that's okay to have all that. And it's okay for things to just get worse and worse. The problem is we got to drive out these poor people. In other words, they're saying, it's inferred by their actions, the authorities are saying, you don't have a right to exist on planet Earth, basically. Go back to where you came from. And the fact is that they may have no place to go. They might have been born right around the corner. We don't know where anybody is born. So it's none of our damn business where people want to spend their lives, where they want to live at any given point in time. That's their own business. But what it is, it's our business as a family to give a damn about their needs. And right here, I stand before God and man and tell you, all that I have in terms of prosperity is pathetic. In the minds of most people in America, they would look inside my financial situation and they would think, what a joke this guy is, talking about prosperity, driving a 15-year-old car, living in the dwelling he lives in, just having what he has is nothing. I've got 100 times as much as that guy, and I don't even feel rich yet. But I'm telling you, folks, I wish to God, if I had one wish today, I would wish that everybody's circumstance on earth was at least as good as mine. If that was the case, if tomorrow that I knew there wasn't a brother or the sister on the face of this earth whose situation was beneath mine in terms of, financial solubility, let's say, prosperity as defined through, assets and money and just the sense of security, my sense of freedom, I would be so happy if I was that would just make me so happy if everybody had prosperity. And I know how to get there. And that's what I do with my videos. I try to make sure other people know how that we can get there. And the only hope we have and how these people aren't going to let it happen, they're going to fight tooth and nail to the bitter end. They've decided it's a fight to the finish. It's a death struggle. And, only one party comes out alive, and they're my social Darwinism. And the money masters, they're a couple special interest groups here working together, trying to take down humanity. So, it's very sick and twisted. On one hand, they are human beings, and a lot of them have children and relatives they care about, but they're trying to divorce themselves and separate themselves from other human beings. So they have to become inhuman psychos, and their heads are filled with, psychobabble, rationalizing, and nonsense. And so that's all they really have to offer. So you can never sit these kind of people down and have a productive debate, because they just won't talk about it. They say, look, I know what my overriding concerns are, and it's about paying my bills. It's not about the golden rule or conscience. It's not about the Constitution. It's just about my way out of fear is knowing I'm going to have a roof on my head. And, if my job revolves around the problems, so what? Let the problems flourish. Let them persist. If, the poverty is a driver of most crime because of financial desperation, my job is in the prison industry, the court system, law, attorneys. It goes on and on. I'm a judge, whatever the case is. That if the problem went away, that would be a very bad thing for me. I'd be out of job. That would cause me great financial insecurity even thinking about that. So I don't want to even think about solving the problem. The same goes for dubious warfare, which is, of course, a big one. I mean, I don't take the one person dying in a war needlessly lightly. I don't. All I am is one person. So all I need is the number one. That's it. That should be enough for all of us. That's too many people to die in a needless, senseless war. And the other big one is debt. The debt. I mean, a prosperous people don't go in debt. And so there'd be no way they can impose this debt and just keep stealing more and more and more. More of your tax dollars just goes to debt maintenance. They say California's in the black and the governor's all proud, and we've got billions of dollars now and got money. Teachers are going to be hit up, and it's looking good and all this. But they don't talk about the fact that we've got this huge chunk of the tax dollars, and more of it keeps going just to debt maintenance. And the people maintaining the debt, they don't want the debt to ever go. If the debt ever went away, these people would be out of business. They'd be out of work. So, because their job is to keep you and your family in debt. Their job for them is to stay out of debt. So you understand, this stuff is really simple. The rhymes and reasons why the system should work and why it's not being allowed to work should become very clear.